Hey everybody, and welcome back. My name is Sue and I'm from OML Embroidery. Sorry about the glare there. And today we're going to do the Anita Goodesign Christmas cards, but we're going to do it a little differently. So the first thing I wanted to show you is this paper. And it's beautiful paper. I got it from Michael's. It's not usually that expensive. It's basically scrapbooking paper. But it's beautiful paper. How's that reflection there?
Kind of reflection.
Well,
some of it's better than others because it's metallic in there too.
yeah, there's some silver in it. I mean, look at this. This is gorgeous. So I thought this would make, oh, look at that. Oh, so you could just cut your card out of here and have this on the front, make sure it fits, of course. But isn't that gorgeous? And the paper is really thick. Now, I'm not going to be stitching on it today, but I am going to be using it. Isn't that fantastic? So, if you're going to make Christmas cards, I'm thinking, what was that first one? Woo, did you see that? Oh, isn't that beautiful?
Can't see a lot through the glare.
It's because it's got shiny stuff in it. Look, this one, believe. Yeah, isn't that... like I said, it's thicker, so it's going to have a little more body to it than the cardstock. This is what I'm going to be using, and I'm going to show you guys that in a minute. But look, even this, so beautiful. You could cut out a couple squares and put it on. But anyways, I just thought I'd show this to you guys. There's oh, I love this. Oh, I love this fur card. There's so many different papers out there. Look, you could even cut out your labels. Oh, isn't that beautiful? So it's quite handy. This is my favorite. For some reason, I love Christmas stripes. So anyways, this one is called Botanica Noel. And again, I got it at Michael's, and they go on sale, or you can get a 50% off coupon. And it's really good. Can you take this, Dawn? It's kind of big, and I don't want to drop it on the floor. So what I did is I picked this green one. I just really like the metallic snowflakes, and there's little ones and they're big ones, and it's a beautiful color of green. And we're talking embellishments today, so look at this. Now, how about this? Isn't that cool? Merry Christmas, and there's designs on it, and you can personalize it. It's red with gold, and it's from this machine, the P-Touch Embellish, and this is actual ribbon. Now, you can get stickers too, but, wouldn't that be gorgeous right there? Just glue it down either way. So I'm going to show you just quickly because people were asking about this. If you turn the machine over, you can see what's loaded. So it will only print out red ribbon with gold. And they come in a cartridge. And I just gotta do it without breaking my nails. There we go. And it's easy to load and easy to change. You just carefully pull it out, and you can put that away. And then we're going to put in, I didn't grab another one, but this is a sticker. And we're just going to put it in the same way. Label up. It snaps in. And you're good to go to make stickers. So it's really cool. There are hundreds of designs on this thing. And I can go through a couple of them for you. You just turn it on. I think it'll be nearly impossible for you guys to read.
That's the best labeler ever.
Best label. So you can do stickers. Now, it's saved. Yeah, so you guys can't really see it. It's saved, the one I did, the OML embroidery. So I'm going to print it on the new paper. One copy.
If you shift it like to the right of where you're holding it, the glare will come off of the screen a little bit better. That way it's
and then
directly under the light.
This button here is for cutting. and I get the same thing, but in a beautiful printed sticker. Now look, you peel off the back and it splits in two, and look, you peel off the backing and it's sticky, and you can use this for cards too. And look, you can see the designs better, a snowflake, and that's a frame around it, so it puts all these dots in. Gingy, a present. I just picked a whole bunch of different ones, but the frame is the same. So literally hundreds of choices, hundreds of choices. But I thought, isn't that cool if you make a freestanding lace bookmark to go in your card, which is a lovely gift. You could, you know, put a couple stitches and stitch this on because it's actual ribbon. And I like the gold and the red. Those are my favorite colors. But how can I hold it?
Right there's good.
All right. You can see how clear the letters are. It's gorgeous. So yeah, you can do adhesive, which is this one, and it's a green zigzag design on it. Did you zoom in?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so green zigzag design. You can see how clear it is. And then the ribbon. So this is the same thing. It just printed on a ribbon. So isn't that cute? You can clearly see the designs. So, like a gazillion uses for this thing, and pretty much anything that you want, you can get it on this thing. It took me 15 minutes to do this because I got distracted. And you can make it as long and as short as you want, but wouldn't that look beautiful just glued right to the bottom here? It's really cute. I think it's just kick it up a notch. You can add bling, but I'm thinking this will be complementary to what I'm using today. So I just wanted to show. A couple people were asking questions about it. This is what the ribbons come in, and you can see right on the front, red ribbon with gold writing. And all the cartridges are the same. Look, they wrapped a present in it. I mean, isn't that amazing? So, lots you can do on that. So I just keep my cartridges very carefully, put them back in the box. You can't really see how much is left, but it's nice to be able to see on the back so you don't have to worry about, you know, what you did. Or what you're going to use. So there's navy blue and gold as well, and there's white and black. And I tried to cut it, but my scissors were goopy, so it didn't work.
I think it's really cool that it's ribbon and
Yep.
regular paper labels and self-adhesive.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be, this is just one I grabbed. It doesn't have to be this either. It can be, you know, whatever you buy, white with black lettering. You can't change this. It is what it is. But you can just change the cartridge. So it shows you right there, mint chevron with black writing. So that's how I labeled like all the drawers in my office. And it's awesome. But I'm going to keep this one and we're going to play with it after. So the other thing I did when I cut this card, again, it's a little bit thicker than the cardstock. I made it a little bit bigger so that it will show, the background will show a little bit. We should be able to see this, but this one will probably be covered up. So again, just a different approach. I absolutely love that. I just think that's stunning. So we'll fiddle with that afterwards. It's just a really nice addition to it. Oh, Bling Chicken. We're still working on a name for him. I forgot to tell you guys that I pretty much won Bobbin Chicken yesterday. I forgot. I looked at it this morning. I'm like, I forgot to brag that I won. So Bobbin Chicken here is just gonna, I guess his name should be Bobby then. Bobby Chicken.
Bobby chicken, maybe.
Bobby chicken, maybe. So because I have a very busy background, like I know it's a little bit hard for you guys to see, but because I have a very busy background, I didn't want a hugely busy fabric on it. For example, something like this would be, you know, too much. It's stripy and a whole set of different colors. So
Colors are good with it, like the green.
the green matches almost exactly,
Yeah.
but it's way too busy. If you had a smaller design for the paper, you could do this and it would look gorgeous, and make sure you line it up. So I decided I am going to do it in red, and I haven't decided which one, but red, little snowflakes might be overkill, but I doubt it. And then I'm going to use this part for the applique that we're doing. So the first thing I did is make sure you can't see too much through. You can see a little bit, but it won't take away from it. So I thought opposite fabrics, I think that'll look really cute. So maybe not that one. And I pulled an extra one. All my fabric is upstairs. It has its own room. So yeah. So think how great that's going to look. And with this as well. So we're not going to be stitching right on the card today because a couple people had a little bit of trouble with warping. So I thought, let's do an experiment and see with thicker cardstock how this is going to turn out. So that's what we're going to do. Same pattern. I haven't touched the pattern at all, but we're going to do it a little differently. And I think this might be a little bit faster to get the cards done, but we'll see how it works, and you guys can vote yes or no at the end of it when we're done. So let's go over to McDreamy. Shall we, Don?
McDreamy's up.
McDreamy's up. Now, because we're not putting on the card, you can skip the first step, which is the placement line for the card. I'm going to stitch it out because I think it's going to give me a really good cutting line. Because we're not putting this on the card, we're obviously going to have to cut it out. I have a few ideas about that as well. So it should work out beautifully. So normally when you're doing that, what we did last week is this is the placement for the card, and then we're going to sit the card down with a little bit of spray or whatever you want to do, and it's going to stitch the card down.
Can you give a little bit more info on your label maker?
Yeah, what do we want to know? Brother, I got it at
Exactly it is. And
I got it at Michael's, and it's called P-Touch Embellish, and it's by Brother. So maybe even on the Brother website. And it wasn't that expensive, I don't think. And the cartridges were like 50% off, so it wasn't too bad. I'm not going to give you the prices because depending where you are in the world, it's going to be a whole lot less. So, but that's what it is. Brother P, the letter P, Touch, Embellish. And it looks exactly like with the light green on it. So it's kind of awesome. Someone just said, Bobbin, Isabel. Well, I checked the bobbin. That's how I know that I won pretty much at Bobbin Chicken yesterday. So I have a new bobbin, a full bobbin. And I don't have to put this one into the bobbin graveyard because there's not enough on it. So that is awesome. And of course, we got our Guy Bjorn here. So I have loaded a green thread, and that's the color I'm going to use pretty much on this whole thing. So it's one of the greens in the, whoo, staticky. It's dry in here. So it's basically the background green on it. And I took care, I can't bring it down because I haven't loaded. We'll see. I wanted it to match. Now I could use silver right here, would look fantastic. You could even use white because it matches this. But I thought, green, let's make it look like it was meant to be. So stop yakking, get stitching. And already, already. Is the Norseman in the house? Is that why?
I haven't seen him yet.
Alright. Alright.
He might be hiding in the shadows, though.
He might be. He might be. Alright, just relax, McDreamy. I gotta put you back a few stitches.
Hello, Karina.
There we go. So, now we're stitching... okay, that happened because I put it back a little too far. Okay, fine. Fine. I just quickly hit the back 10 and it was 3 stitches into the first part. So, whoops. So, beautiful. And you could arrange these lines just however you want. Now, this is the fabric line on it. I think the green's gonna look great. Nice and flat. I could have used some spray. Now, the instructions recommend tearaway or a soft cutaway. I can't get at my tearaway right now, so I'm just using cutaway. Tearaway would work nicely, but I can't get at it, so I'm just working with what I got, right? McDreamy. Is it gonna be this kind of day, buddy? So, I'm going to be threading a lot. I thought I was being a smarty pants, and because I wasn't changing my thread colors, I thought, yay, I'm going to get through this. No. Nope. Negative. Now, I'm not going to trim yet. You can now, but I want to experiment with some different ideas for cutting the edges. So again, I didn't change the design at all or anything. It's just stitching it out. Wow, that's shaking again. You forgot to fix that, Don. Longer stitches, I think. Yeah. So the first square was placement for the fabric, but we're not doing anything with it, so I'm not worried. And this is stitching it down. So if you're doing it on cardstock, make sure you follow the instructions from last week's video, and that'll help out. Alright, so now we're going to do some fancy stitches, and I know that the fancy stitches are going to be stitching out over the edge because we haven't cut it. We're going to see if this is going to work. If you want to cut it, then it would still look okay, but I'm trying to do this differently. I think it'll work well. So these are just some pretty decorative stitches. I mean, you don't have to do them if you don't want to. Just gives it a pretty edge, and then we're gonna make another edge. Iron-on stabilizer? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if you should iron on paper, because I think it might warp the paper. So I'd be careful with that one. The back of the card, you just need more of the card to glue on it. Sorry, having a drink. So I think the green looks gorgeous, but I do have a couple of ideas for the edges. So do you guys have any more questions about the P-Touch Embellish?
Somebody was asking, she didn't answer me that. She was asking what the numbers are of the cartridge. So she can do that.
Oh, which one I showed
That's
too?
what I asked which one, but she didn't answer that, so both, I guess.
TZE RW34 it says. But yeah, add a personal touch it says. But there's only one red and gold, so you just look at the Remember, you look at the front of it, you look at the front, and you can see. That's why I showed you guys the box, but I don't know if she means that number. It says right on it, P-Touch Embellish, and I could be wrong, but I'm really pretty sure that you can't use any other cartridges in this. But it's a satin ribbon. There you go. So that's what it is. And you get almost 4.5 yards of ribbon. So I don't think that's too bad for printed ribbon. I don't think that's too bad at all. Yeah. I looked it up on Amazon and they have it. Yeah. It's just something that I use a fair amount. I labeled all my drawers, and then, you know, if you change your mind on stuff, you can just take it off and relabel it really easily. Just remember that if you're in a rush, just do lettering, because if you go through all the frames and the pictures, I mean, they have sewing ones, they have winter ones, they have everything. They have absolutely everything. So it's kind of awesome. Looking back here, I would have hooped. I should have hooped the fabric and the stabilizer together in the hoop, and it would have made it look better. I'm so used to doing in the hoop stuff, but this one doesn't need to be in the hoop because I have a layer cake which is 10 by 10 and I'm only doing a 5 by 7. Much better results if you hoop it. So I should have done that. Too late now. I mean, it's still gonna turn out, but you know. Judy Quilt says perhaps we can find a Cyber Monday sale. Yeah, you might be able to. I just like to show you guys things that I like, and sometimes it's the little things that kind of bring it together. Like, I just think that's absolutely gorgeous. It's beautiful. And there's more than one font on it. There's not a whole lot of them, but you can change the style of it. So, okay. So next time, hoop, both things. And I think that'll be much better. So now we're going to do our applique. Because I wouldn't consider this applique. McDreamy. It is very staticky in here because I keep getting stuck to the ribbon. So maybe that is the problem. What's the humidity in here, Don?
33.
Oh. Well, I think McDreamy is, you know, a little picky. He's a little staticky. So this is like, octagon in the middle, something like this. So that's our placement line. Now I could.
Norseman said it's still not me.
Oh, I could do the lines opposite, or I could do them matching. I think either way would look good, but I'm going to do it matching, so we don't need to go too far over. I think this is going to look good. I was tempted to use my metallic thread because I have metallic green, and I think it might have looked okay, but I was just too nervous about overdoing it. You don't really want to overdo it. So definitely hoop. That's the first part of the experiment. I do lots of these experiments and I love doing them. You find out different ways and different ideas. I mean, this might be a total failure. Who knows? Dum dum. I like how the green looks with the white. Okay, Dawn, back to the desk, please, Dawn.
Desk is up.
Thank you. My applique scissors are here. So, I just did it up on the corner to be a little bit frugal on this, so you can see that I would be able to get at least 4 out of this one. And because you're not, you know, taking the time to hoop the card and do everything like that, it's going to go a little bit faster. And then you could just, you know, sit at night and do all the gluing and trimming if you want. We'll see. We'll see how it works. If it does work, maybe next week we'll try stitching on the cardstock and see how that works. And if anybody else wants more experiments, then we can do that too.
Lynn says maybe McDreamy is upset that she's not here.
Maybe, Lynn, you could be right. You could be exactly right. He's a pretty sensitive guy, you know. Pretty sensitive guy. It's entirely possible he just likes to drop thread all the time, and I haven't found an answer why. He stopped doing it for a little while. And then he went and he's doing it. So there we go. I probably could have done a better job at trimming, man. But I didn't. So I'm just gonna go back and just gently fix it up a little bit, and I'll make sure there's no biddly bits on it, because I know everybody gets kind of crazy with all the biddly bits that I leave. That should be good. Doesn't have to be perfect because we're doing satin stitches, right? There we go. All the biddly bits. Go back. Go back. All right. Back to McDreamy, Don.
McDreamy's up.
And McDreamy's going to stitch out everything. This is the last color, so we shouldn't have any problems. It should be good. And we're not stitching on a card, so we don't have to worry about it too much. I'm hoping, I actually really like these matching prints together. I think it would be much better if I hooped. I see some puckering there, so, and puckering is exactly why you hoop. Now, if you wanted, this is one color at the end, so this is meant to stitch out one color and the writing. If you didn't want the writing, so say for example, if you just wanted to put the ribbon here and glue the ribbon down, then just keep an eye and just stop your machine when it ends. Beautiful designs. It should go pretty quickly. There's 15,000 stitches and it says 24 minutes and 7 thread color changes, but not really. I picked the Christmas tree one. They're all pretty much the same, a little bit of a different shape sort of thing on it, but you know, it's cool. And if you use up layer cakes, you could get, you know, 4 of these centerpieces out of one, and doing this a little bit better, you could get at least 2 out of this. So, I mean, just, you know, make it production wise. Now, how are we doing in chat, Don? Are there any questions?
No, they're just chatting amongst themselves.
That's good. I like the green. I think this is going to work out really well.
Green's pretty.
So, should we play with the P-Touch a little bit, guys? Can you do a picture-in-picture thingy, Don?
We can do that.
In just a minute. I'm just changing the cartridge here because I think the ribbon is stunning. What type of stabilizer? Well, they recommend tearaway. I don't really like tearaway and I can't get at mine, so I just use the same as what I use for the quilting, a cutaway. And if you hoop it, it'll look much better. So because we're doing the card differently, yes, I would recommend the cutaway. Just holds everything just a little bit better. I like it. But tearaway would work too. So, Yeah, didn't I ask you?
Yeah, you said just a minute. So
No, I said it'll be a minute.
it's,
Alright. So it's a bit glary. So I'm switching back to my ribbon. So I know it's the red ribbon. I should have got out the other ones to show you guys. And then flip it over and we're gonna see how it looks. I just thought we could play. Thanks for the stabilizer info. You're welcome, Judy Quilt. Sometimes, you know, you just have to work with what you've got, and we haven't moved Ragnar yet, and he has one of those really nice cabinets, and it has all the stabilizer in it, so I'm just making do. But I think doing it this way, I think it's better with the cutaway and hooping. So awesome. A layer cake usually has 24 pieces. It's usually 42 actually. And it can be 2 or 3 of each one, or 2 of one, or 1 of 42 different fabrics, depending on what you want. Are you messing around with it, Don?
Sorry, I can't do anything to fix that.
No, I know you can't. I just gotta hold it. I have to hold it so you guys can see a little bit there. Yeah, this might be a little difficult to play with, but so I'm going to clear the whole thing that I did, and we're gonna have a look at frames. I don't know how I can hold this. I did mean 42, but somehow typed 24. It happens. Yeah, see, that's totally... What if I go like this? And put a shadow on it? Ooh la la, Norseman. Nope, that doesn't work at all. So, it's all about the angle. It's all about the angle.
That's not bad.
Well, at least you can see it, but you can't. Alright, this is a frame that I picked. So they show you what's on each side and then the lettering. So you just use these arrows to go through. This is a camera. This is a camera and a tropical tree. Telephone. We can do something funny. Oh, that's a rain cloud and an umbrella. Yeah, you guys can't see it. I guess there's no point, really. I'll just find something really cute and print it out. This one's...
Use that glossy cover.
I know. Well, it's worth a try. So I pressed OK, so it's gonna do my frame. I'm just gonna run you guys through it. So, let's do caps. So OML. Oh, I took caps off. So OML. Yeah, EMBROIDERY. I needed a space, so can I go back? Probably with the arrows. Yeah. And right here, it's like a QWERTY keyboard, so it's easy to do. OML embroidery. I'm just not into spaces today. Huh. Gang. So then all you can see here, I know you guys can't see it, but all you can see here is the lettering, and what you need to do is go to preview, and it's going to show you the font and the frame. Yeah, I guess you guys... What's that?
We can kind of see that.
Kinda. So it shows you I have a thicker font because I think it looks good, and the frame, and you can make changes or not. I mean, it's easy enough. So I like it. After you've done your preview, I like it, and I'm just gonna hit print. 1 copy, so you can make multiple copies if you want. And then print. It says please wait, and you can't hear it, but look at it go. Isn't that cool? And then, oh, it's very staticky. And then this, here's your scissors. And turn it off. And you see what I just did. Can we see it, Don?
Christmas trees, yeah.
Christmas trees, and it's underlined, and the font is kind of, it's hard to pick out the details, but it's kind of like a 3D shadow font. Isn't that awesome? Oh, and I forgot the Y.
Oops.
Alright, well, typos don't count. I deleted it by accident, but yeah. Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool? I think that is the most fun you can have with embellishment. And you know, if you're getting a little present, you know, Merry Christmas, Mom, like you could do this with it if you were getting like a bottle of something, shampoo. You could do this, put a little dab of glue. How professional would that be? And if you put, you know, Mom on it or your mom's name, that would be great. Where are you going?
Nowhere.
Oh, what are you doing? Oh, I guess we had technical. Every time.
Only does it once. Random.
What is the model number and where can we get it? For the P-Touch, I don't know if there is a model number. It's hard to see, actually. There's only one. Model PT02. Yeah, I can't read it. 0215. D215. But there's only one.
It's hard to read.
Yeah, there's only one P-Touch Embellish, so it has to say Embellish. The other P-Touch ones, they just do stickers. They don't do the ribbon. So, yeah, have a look. Someone said they could see it on Amazon. And, you know, you could always go to the Brothers site as well and, you know, check out what it does. I'm not seeing me on the screen, Don. It's not on.
Is it free?
Yeah, it's not on.
That's weird.
We're just trying to figure this out. It didn't come
Sorry
on.
about that.
There we go.
There you
Oh, upside down question mark.
go. No, it's up.
All right, sorry about that. It has to say embellish on it. That's the key thing. The other ones, they look differently. This one is, you know, the mint green kind of color. So anyways, P-Touch Embellish by Brother. So I'm liking what we got going on so far. The other thing I have here are pinking shears. I don't know if you guys have ever used them, but that would be a nice finish to it as well. I have no idea how sharp these guys are. Oh yeah. So look, I'm just snipping the end so it does a nice straight line, but I think having a zigzag end on it looks fantastic. Yeah, I like that. But we may glue it on. We're gonna see what it looks like. You could always put it on in the middle. You could also hand stitch or glue onto a freestanding lace or the gift card holder or something like that. Alright, I think our design is coming along fine. I'm gonna pass on the writing if I can catch it. Just to leave room for myself for that part. So, Alicia, thank you. The stabilizer is medium weight. Last week I used a very lightweight stabilizer. You know, honestly, it's just a thin design. Like I said, Anita Goodesign recommends if you're stitching it on the card tearaway, it's easier to finish. If you are using tearaway, make sure you hold it like with your hand to tear away. I've seen people who make mistakes doing that. Let me show you what I mean. So let's pretend that this is tearaway. It's not, it's cutaway. This is my gingy from yesterday. That when you're doing the tearaway, you have to hold down the stitches because it's far too easy to pull them out. And if you're stitching on cardstock, that could be a bit of a mess. So always hold it down a little bit. And it just makes it better, and you won't rip anything, and take your time ripping.
Judy Quilt says, my doggy.
My dog, yeah. Judy, that's still so funny. That is still so funny. I laughed. So this, I like the green. I cannot wait to see what this whole thing looks like on this card. It's nice. So by doing it this way too, we don't have to put anything on this back cover. Not that there's anything wrong with it. You could take a different print and cut it out the same size. So I cut this one out, just measuring. I did 6 by 8. So just a little bit bigger, so it's not right up to the edge. And I just thought that would work really nicely. So this is nice and thick. I don't think it says the weight on it. The folder. Does it say the weight on it, Don? It is thicker than just plain colored cardstock, so just using a bone folder turner.
No, it doesn't say.
It doesn't say it on it, but someone could figure it out. Maybe they're all different, or maybe they're all the same. Now I have a nicer crease in there. Another use for the ribbons is, you know, making old books. You know, when you put a bookmark in it, that would be, you'd have to do it longer, but that would be gorgeous too. So many uses. It would just personalize and dress up everything. Look at our design, it's coming along. And when it moves down here, that's when I'm gonna stop it. So I'm gonna be paying attention here for a sec. I love this design. What a cute little tree, especially in green. So it should do a trim and then come down here, and we're gonna stop.
It's creepy with one hand in one camera shot and the other in the other.
Stop. Thanks. We don't want those stitches. So I pushed it like 3 times and it didn't stop, but we haven't done too much. So, okay, needle up. And now do a trim. So I don't want to pull anything. Okay. What? Lower the presser foot. Can't you do it, McDreamy? There we go. We got a trim. All right, so I'm just stopping right here. So can we go back to the desk, Dawn?
Yes, desk is up.
And we're gonna put this all together and see how we like it. So that didn't take long at all. So we do have a cutting line here, so you could cut it this way. I'm gonna take my sharp scissors here and I'm gonna cut just the stabilizer. I'm not, hopefully not cutting the fabric, just to get the stabilizer out of the way. If you were using tearaway, then just hold your stitches down. But just so we can see what we're doing and we can make cleaner cuts with however we decide to do it. Or we could do it all differently, each part. So just be really careful. You don't really want to cut the fabric, although you could recover from it. So, and I just did, so we'll recover from it, and I did again. So put this guy down and stop trying to rush. There we go. You can kind of feel it when you do it. And this might need a little ironing because I do have some wrinkles in it, but a bit of steam would probably work for the fabric. Definitely hooping both will work. And almost done. Last little cut. Right here. Got it. Without too much of a disaster. So beautiful. So now you could take, put down a cutting board. Remember, this is not a cutting board. And you could take a ruler and you could make nice straight lines, just as close as you can to the stitches. Or we can be a little more carefree and just do the pinked edges, and they don't have to be perfect. Just bring it up. And you can always go over it. I went a little wobbly there, but I really don't think it's gonna matter. I'm just gonna switch here. It might be prudent to cut a little bit off, not a whole lot, but a little bit off.
Harder to cut when it's not firm.
That's why I think thicker cutaway would work a little bit better. It's kind of like all over the place, but I'm not necessarily the greatest at the pinking shears either. But see, that looks good. I think that looks good. You could also take rickrack and glue it down. You could also take some yarn and glue it down to make a nice edge. See, I'm not very good at this. And I don't think these guys are quite sharp enough is the other problem. But, let's work with it. Getting better. These are actually really heavy. Really, really heavy. Now, you could probably do a better job than I am. I would, next time doing this, I would take a ruler and a fabric marker and make some lines, because I'm just kind of winging it. And I mean, it's okay. It's kind of wonky. Look, I did better on this side. So let's move that, and now we can see how it's gonna look. Wow, I like it. So the next step is we're gonna glue it down. So this is two-way glue. It's not necessarily fabric glue. Tacky glue, premium all-purpose adhesive, that's probably great to use. And I have this original tacky glue, all-purpose adhesive. So let's try this. This is Eileen's all-purpose glue, and I just keep an old pin in it, so hopefully we'll be able to get some glue out. That's going to be a negative. All right, I will mess with that later. I'll just have to take the lid off and just dip it around. Yeah, all right, so there's lots in there. Let's try this one. So I'm going to flip it over, and I'm just going to do it kind of, you don't have to glue everything down, but, and I'm not going past the motif line. And we want it, you know, nice. And if you do little bit by little bit, you will be able to flatten it. Whoop, that just didn't work at all. So negative for that kind. Can you hand me another glue thing, Dawn? I haven't even opened this. One of the bigger tacky glues. So this stuff is not for fabric. Oh, it's just beside McDreamy. School glue.
Fabric fusion.
Yeah, just fabric fusion. All right. I think this stuff is a little bit, it works. It's a little bit kind of wet. School glue. Yeah. School glue, I think, would work really well at this point, but let's try this. I mean, it's for fabric. Now it better work, because I put it all over. I just told you guys not to put it all over. And then I just went a little glue crazy. So let's hope it works. I told you, this is experimentation day. And let's see if I can get some good flattening going on. Doesn't have to be perfect, guys. Doesn't have to be perfect. It is a bit wet, so you can see it's coming through the fabric and it doesn't hold it very well, and that's why I don't really like it. So that's probably okay. I'm not too happy with that, but it's okay. This will dry and you won't be able to see it, but I mean, you know, it's good enough.
Judy Quilt says she would iron on Misty Fuse and then...
Yeah, you
on the
could
back
do
of the
something
stand
like
would
that. Sure.
You can iron on the cardstock apparently, because it's fiber.
Oh, it won't get all, like, messed up?
No, it should be okay.
I've never done it, but I could plug in my little one. And my little iron here, my Cricut. Oh, I like the tacky glue much better. Look at that. Oh.
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah, that's better. So, the right glue, I don't know why I don't have any school glue, but I don't.
It's kind of funny we don't have any.
No, I did have some, but you know what? It all dried out. So, and I haven't replaced it. Dollar store is a good place to go for that. Or the kids stole it. I mean, anything's possible. So, yes, this tacky glue, you can get it at Michael's. You can get it at any store. This is working way better. Now, look, I got it pretty much flat.
Now, do you need to put a book on that and help hold it till it dries?
Well, I'm going to iron it. So, it's on. So I just have my little Cricut guy. And I do keep this guy here. And we'll experiment. Today is experimentation day, so we'll see what happens with a dry iron, and hopefully it'll dry out the glue. Doesn't that look good? I need a... Can I have that little pad right there? This is not an ironing surface. Right there. Look at, yeah. So I also have a little ironing pad from Cricut, which is super handy. I do use it all the time.
Sandy says scrapbook glue or double-sided tape even.
Yep, I just don't have any of that. I'm just kind of working with what I've got. Any of those things I think would work. Double-sided tape would probably be the easiest. But so the nicest thing about this little Cricut guy, it's little, it's a dry iron, and it really doesn't take long to heat up. So experiment. We are experimenting. So ultra strong, dries clear, non-toxic. Okay. America's favorite. So yeah, there's a lot of different glues. Heat and bond might work too. Yeah, I'm not sure if heat and bond would work. Maybe we could test that out. See if I can find a little piece of it. Yeah, I love the little iron. It's amazing. So I have it set to the highest setting. I like the little holder that it sits in, if you can see that. That's one of my favorite things because it just sits here and I push it out of the camera range. And look, it's done. And let's see what our paper does. And see if our glue will heat set. Oh, it's looking good. So, okay, you can dry iron paper. Oh, I dropped my glue. It doesn't seem to be hurting it at all. It's nice and hot. Yeah. So, okay. That's a great experiment. And I think it looks even better now. So I'm just kind of pushing on it. I wouldn't, stay in one spot too long. Yeah, how to get a professional look. Even if you don't hoop your fabric. I think I've recovered. I think I've totally recovered. Now, this is getting a little bendy, but it is okay. Yeah, it's fine. So, look at that, you guys. How cool is that? I think that might be a better way of doing it. I find this quite enjoyable. And we're going to glue this on because it's a satin ribbon. And you can experiment with all the suggestions. Double-sided tape would be super easy and less wet. This is the only thing I don't like about this glue, is that it's kind of wet, and I think it would be, oh, I'm doing the wrong one, but okay. OML Embroider Gang. Alright, I'm not doing that. Never mind. I'm going to change my mind. OML Embroidery. Let's see if we can use it. And it's beautiful. Let's line it up. And you know what? You can leave the edges exactly the way it is. That's awesome. So, what a beautiful card. And I think you could just set them to run. It's nice and flat. It's nice and flat, a little bit bendy here, but you just bend it back. It's still kind of warm. And I'm going to leave the ribbon out like that. Now, you could add some bling. Just glue it on with this glue. It works for everything, apparently. Like I said, school glue, I think that would work fine. I think I would draw lines on it. But where it used to be puckery, it's not anymore. So I like the green matching. I like the fabric matching. I love the ribbon. And you know what? If you got really fancy, you could do some fancy writing in there, or cut something out with your Cricut, or make a gift card holder and put it in there. How awesome is that? So what do you think, Don?
I like it.
I think that's a little bit easier.
That's a different way to do it.
Yeah, well, it's experimentation day, and we experimented with a whole bunch of different kinds of glue. This stuff did not work. Zig. No. And I didn't use this one because it's brand new, although my reject ribbon is sitting there. So look, I'm just going to go beep and turn it off. Super handy iron. I like it. So tacky glue, I guess this is the same, but it's just an easier, it's smaller to squeeze it out. So that might even be better. You can always take a brush, but yeah, I think double-sided tape would work really well. But I love how this turned out. What do you think, Don?
I like it.
Yeah.
Heather says she has lots of watercolors from Creative Fabrica. You could print out one of the designs and put it on the inside as well.
Yeah, lots of ideas. But you know what? Getting creative and putting embroidery with cardstock is one of my favorite things to do. Another thing you guys can do is you can send this embroidery design to your Scan and Cut and have it draw out the design. It takes a while, but it's beautiful. I've done that on a few things and I find it completely enjoyable. So that's it for experimentation. Different procedure, completely different, completely on it. And I like how it's turned out. Gold ribbon, if you have any ribbon scraps, there's so many things you can do. But I think this is a really fast way of doing it, and I think it's pretty cool.
Your green thread matches the cardstock nicely.
It matches it almost perfectly. I'm going to show you guys the spool, because it happened to be right here and I just grabbed it. So this is the spool, and it's whoa! Just about landed on the floor. Did you just yawn loudly, Don?
Sorry.
Wow.
Sorry.
Jeez, man. So this is the Floriani spool. And if you're interested, it's PF277. And it just matches almost perfectly. It's a little bit darker, but it brings it together. And that's what we try to do, right? Is bring it together, and it just makes it look like everything was meant to be. And again, I didn't do any of it perfectly, but I think this is a heck of a card like this. Do you think so, Don? Mm-hmm. Or do you think I need to do better on some things?
No, I think it's good.
Just maybe the wet glue is what's throwing me. I think I did the embroidery perfectly, and I have to practice a little bit with my pinking shears, or I'd probably be happier with a ruler and a straight line everywhere. But you know what?
Just use some different stabilizer, like you said too.
Yeah. Well, hoop
Would
everything.
help
And
out all of that.
I just don't have access to all my stabilizer right now because we're still moving around. Did I tell you guys I have a fabric room? I do. We're just working on it. A fabric room, Dawn.
I know.
And a paper room. So a craft room.
I know.
So
I
it's
have your craft stuff up.
awesome. Gail says, hi Gail, by the way. This is the green color I have 3 spools of. It just struck me as lovely and matching well enough. So I hope you guys will work with what you've got at home. Do some experiments. Use different glue because I didn't really like how this worked. Something drier. And I think this is a much better way to make a card. And I think it looks better. And I think you could just sit and stitch everything out.
Pretty.
Yeah, it is pretty.
You have to take a picture and put it in the group.
Yeah.
It looks better here than on video.
Ah, okay. It looks better
You
here
just
than
can't
on...
get the details as much the way it is. If you
I'll
take
do a
picture
nice-
of it, it'll look a little better.
I'll do that. I'll take a nice picture and put it up for you guys. So do your experiments. Try what I did. Let me know how it turns out. I think this is easier. Just do all the embroidery and put everything on the card after. So much fun. I enjoyed this one much more than the other one. So, I like it. So, thanks everyone for watching. I hope you guys like this video. I hope you guys do your own card experiments. I think that embroidered Christmas cards are absolutely gorgeous. And I think it is a completely original, one of a kind. I could do the same one and it would still be different. Play with colors, play with fabric, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.